All right. We are live from Occupy City Hall in Rockford, Illinois. Let me make sure that this mic is appropriately adjusted. I'm a little crooked. This has been a common theme with the beginning of these lives is me finding out I'm crooked. All right, let me try to fix this. We got a new tripod, so it should be a little easier to fix the crookedness. Okay. Oh, you see? Hey, you see how easily I fixed it that time? Here we go. Share this live. Share this live. Again, we are live from Occupy City Hall in Rockford, Illinois. It is day 240 something, I believe. I should remember the names, but the dates or the numbers, but they're bleeding together. We've been out here for a long ass time. But I want to start this off like this. Justice for Jose Gonzalez Jr., who was shot by the Rockford Police Department on April 11th of 2021. His case is currently under the investigation by Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force. The officer who shot him is named Owen McGinnis. He was involved in the false arrest and assault of protesters and community members on May 30th of 2020. So we want to say justice for Jose Gonzalez Jr. This is Denzel Duvant. What's up, bro? Love you, bro. Be safe out here. This is Denzel Duvant. We want to say justice for Denzel Duvant. Denzel Duvant was assaulted at the hands of the Rockford Police Department on January 5th of 2020. There was no investigation into the case. There was no reprimand to any of the officers who took part in the assault of Denzel Duvant. And one of the officers who was a part of the assault of Denzel Duvant, Officer Dominic McNeese, also shot Tyrus Jones 2 months prior to this assault taking place. And so what we want to say is justice for Denzel Duvant. Justice for Denzel. If you need to share, if you're sharing this video and you need something to hashtag it, you can hashtag it justice for Denzel. You can hashtag it justice for Jose. I want to share this. I want to share this picture with you. This excuse me. This poster with you. This is Faustin Guaitigo. We want to say justice for Faustin. If you sharing this video and watching this video, you need something to share this as, you can share it with a hashtag justice for Faustin. Faustin Guaitigo was murdered by Winnebago County Sheriff deputies inside of his home on April 10th, 2021. Not 2010, not 2000, not 1990, April 10th, 2021. This case is currently also under investigation by the Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force, and we want to say justice for Faustin. So if you're sharing this video and you need something to share it as and you need something to say, you can share it and you can put a hashtag justice for Faustin. And then we came out here and began the occupation at City Hall on October 3rd. On October, this is crazy. On October 3rd, 2020, because on October 2nd, 2020, Tyrus Jones was shot while he was running away by Rockford Police Department Officer Dominic McNeese. So if you need something to share this video as, you can share this video and put hashtag justice for Tyrus. And again, the reason that we are laying out all four of these names, all four of these cases, and then there's one more. I also want to say this has been something that us organizationally have been trying to find the best way in order to approach, because it is a little different than some of the cases that we have been dealing with up to this point. We want to also say justice for Raymond Jackson, who was involved in what the state's attorney is saying, a chase that was not a chase, but too many times in the city of Rockford and in Winnebago County, car chases, police chases have led to the loss of life for innocent bystanders who were not involved. And so we want to, in that case, is also being investigated by the Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force. So we want to say justice for Raymond Jackson. So if you need to share this video and you need something to share it as, share a hashtag justice for Raymond. And again, we lay out all of these different cases, all of these different versions of the macro all of these different versions of this of the macro aggressions of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. We lay all of these things out so that way, because we have to understand that people have built-in biases, people have built-in prejudices, people have built-in people have been through experiences and things in their lives which make them more or less empathetic towards specific situations. And so we want to lay out all of these things on the table to make it more difficult for people to try to not have empathy for the situations. You don't have empathy for Tyrus Jones for whatever reason? Okay, what about Denzel Duvant? You don't have empathy for Denzel Duvant for whatever reason? Okay, what about Faustin Guaitigo? You don't have empathy for Faustin Guaitigo for whatever reason? Okay, what about Jose Gonzalez Jr.? You don't have empathy for Jose Gonzalez Jr. for whatever reason? What about Raymond Jackson? And then once we tap into that empathy with people, we dive deeper into explaining the concepts of police terrorism, racial injustice, and mass incarceration. And so that is the reason that we start these videos off by saying justice for all of those people. Let's get into some of the things that took place today. I want to always make sure that we are doing our best to communicate directly to the community, to communicate directly to the people, so that way there can be no misinformation or there can be no false narratives around any of the demonstrations or any of the protests or any of the actions that we take part in. Today, the Memorial Day Parade came down East State Street East State Street came down City Hall as it has multiple times before in the past, as I'm sure it will multiple times in the future. We have been outside of City Hall for the past 250 plus days. We've been outside of City Hall again since October. So we were already in this area. We were expecting the Memorial Day Parade to pass through here, just as we expect to have some type of interaction with the 4th of July parade that takes place. And so around maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, myself and later on more members of the May 30th Alliance will begin to chalk the sidewalks, as we have multiple times over. If anybody's never seen any of these videos or does not know about this, if this is the first time you are tuning in to this live or tuning in to the channel, please go back and look at the multiple videos we have in which we use chalk as a form of a direct action. We leave messages in the chalk about police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. And so earlier this morning, we began to chalk both the sidewalk in front of City Hall, the public sidewalk in front of City Hall, and the public sidewalk on the opposite side of City Hall. And the main thing that was written in the chalk on these sidewalks were the names of the victims of these macro aggressions of police terrorism, racial injustice, and mass incarceration. It was the names of the people that we have along Say Their Name Square down here in Rockford, Illinois. And I would encourage anybody who has never been down to Say Their Name Square in Rockford, Illinois, to come out, leave flowers or leave candles or stuffed animals. The memorials get torn down at this point on a pretty regular basis. There has been members of the May 30th Alliance have been given citations for putting these memorials up, and these citations come along with the penalty of at least $750 each. And there's a citation for 11 memorials. So you can, I'm not good at math. I'm better with words than I am with numbers. So you can figure out how much that is. But that lets you know the type of financial implications that some of these memorials have. And I think that I hope that as we continue to go, because we will continue to put these memorials up, these memorials will stay here on these poles in this area. I hope that as this becomes a more complex storyline with how this corrupt city handles these memorials, I hope that more attention is raised to the memorials. I hope that more people notice these memorials as the spring and the summer go on. I hope more people begin to ask about the names on the memorials and the dates on the memorials, and people start to inform themselves and educate themselves past just what they see on the news clip on 23 or a news clip on 13, or past just what they hear bigoted or ill-informed or uneducated friends say in passing, or family members say in passing, or at a dinner table. So anyways, with that being said, we chalked the sidewalks and ready for in preparation of the parade coming, in preparation of the street being filled with people coming out with their lawn chairs and with their family and coming to see the parade. And So by the time people started piling out of their houses or piling out of their cars to come on the sidewalks and to also piling out of their houses, we had full sidewalks of messages. We had signs out. We had megaphones. And again, I understand that the Memorial Day, and I want to speak on. I want to go deeper into reasons why I think that this was a very appropriate place and setting and time for these things. And I'm sure that we probably have a few enemies, or I don't even want to use the word enemies. That's not the right word to use, but and haters is too. I'm sure some racist people. You know, I don't got the specific. I don't got time for ad hominem attacks or nothing like that. But I'm sure some of the people that's watching this video are the people who feel like we shouldn't have done anything during Memorial Day. And so I'm aware that it may be somebody leaving some type of comments or something in the process of this. I'm just going to let you know right along right now. I ban people on the live. So if you say anything racist or derogatory, anything with racist undertones, I'm going to ban you on the live. So if you prefer to be able to tune in and just yell at the phone your racist epithets and your racist slurs, but to still be able to watch, I would recommend don't even say nothing in the comments. But anyways, continue. I'm going to continue. So as the parade began to pass through and people began to have their chairs, you could see people look at the sidewalks and look at the messages that was on the sidewalks. The streets have been shut down for the parade, and so we began to put chalk in the streets and in preparation of people inevitably walking down the street and looking down naturally at the sidewalk and reading the messages that were written there. And so again, as people piled out and people got to their seats and their lawn chairs, you could hear people talking to each other, and you could hear. We had music playing. I also had some music playing. We chose to. It was early. It wasn't noon yet, so we didn't have no rap music playing. We didn't have no Future, or no Tupac, or no Kendrick, or nothing like that playing. So, not that I think that would be wrong to have playing, but it was early morning, so. It's a holiday morning. No, it's a holiday morning. It's a holiday morning. So we was playing oldies, some oldies but goodies. But the music was at a loud volume, and some people, as they heard the music as a loud volume and seen the chalk, chose to move down some and try to get further away. I will say that was not something that was done in abundance. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not here to try to make it seem like some type of some heavy negative interactions happen. I'm just trying to, again, elaborate on what people may see on a live video or what people may go and talk about later on. And for people who may not know that these things happen, I want to first lay out the setting of what happened and then go dive into maybe the ideology and the thought pattern behind doing something on Memorial Day. And so as the parade, before the parade began and got down and started coming down this way, we began to move further down East State Street. I went to the intersection of First Street and East State Street, and a very interesting interaction happened down there that I think is very important for where we are at right now in Rockford. Now, I think I should also say this, too. I don't think this will be a surprise to nobody, but this is a very predominantly non-black crowd. I'm not gonna say what specific. To me, it appeared to be majority white. I don't want to opt anybody into being white that would like to opt out of being white. So I don't want to say it was a all white crowd. I would just say it was heavily non-black crowd. And so that was something I feel like is should be said and stated, which is, again, the main demographic for the events down in this area. That is not an aberration. The events and the things that take place down in this area is a heavy non-black crowd. And this issue, especially in the city of Rockford, Illinois, predominantly affects black people. So black people understand it and know it, and they have to cope and deal with it every day. And so organizationally, what we have made it incumbent upon ourselves to do is to make that issue become just as prevalent in the people who don't have to deal with it every day, to force them to have to drive by City Hall and see the picture of Denzel, to force them on Memorial Day as they're putting out their lawn chairs to see the names of Joseph McCormick, Geno Washington, Shannon Gray, slaves, Carrie Blake and Logan Bell and Mark Barmore and Jovan Fresco, and the list goes on. I don't want to do anybody's family disservice by not saying everybody's name, but I just hope people understand what I'm getting at. And so there's not today Tyrus Jones' mother didn't wake up, and because it was Memorial Day, she did not all of a sudden not feel the trauma of her son being shot. Faustin Guaitigo's wife and family didn't wake up this morning, and because it was Memorial Day, all of a sudden not feel the pain and the trauma of their loved one being taken away and being murdered. Historically, if you look through through the things that have taken place in America on this day, as far as Memorial Day, if we were to gauge the treatment of the people who have given service to this country, if we were to gauge how they were treated while giving that service, if we were to gauge how they were treated by the country once they came back from giving that service, I think that it would become almost impossible for us to look through Memorial Day, to not look through Memorial Day from a different lens. I think that that's what we are starting to get at in this country, is starting to realize that every holiday that we have needs to be looked at it in a different lens and in a different way and from a different perspective, because a lot of the things a lot of the things that this nation prides itself on and is rooted in, these institutionalized things, they're rooted in violence that's perpetuated. They're rooted in racism that's perpetuated, and sexism and homophobia and transphobia that's perpetuated. And so one of the things that we want to do is to challenge people on a regular basis. We don't want to take days off from challenging people. We don't want there to be, well, today this happened, so we're not going to challenge the society to look at these issues of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice differently. As it stands, I believe that, I don't know how they did it, if maybe they did Saturday court or not, but I think if somebody got arrested on Friday, they may have to be doing 3 days in there before they do an extra day in there before they can see a judge. So then what implications does Memorial Day have to the people that are incarcerated, to the people who are falsely incarcerated at that? I think that, again, that is what it means to do a demonstration, and not only to, and this is where we are trying to grow at, to not only do the demonstration, but not to allow the demonstration's narrative to be manipulated by outside parties. The days and the times of when a protest could take place in Rockford, organized by the May 30th Alliance, and then people could go and tell their own version of what happened with the protest and why the protest was for, are over with. And so not only do I not want there to be, and do we not want there to be, there can be no misconceptions as to why we did a demonstration today, as to why we were in the streets today. There can be no misinformation or half stories or half narratives or false narratives or manipulation of the story. We don't take any days off as an organization because police terrorism does not take any days off, because mass incarceration does not take any days off, and because racial injustice don't take any days off. And so again, as people started to come down in the lawn chairs and everybody's lining up the sidewalks, music is playing. I think it was Billie Holiday. I'm in a intersection of First Street and East State Street, and I'm writing some things in the intersection. And as I'm moving down on the street, I'm writing people's first names, and then writing dead or alive. Wrote Denzel's name and wrote alive. Wrote Joseph's names for Joseph McCormick and wrote dead. I wrote Geno Washington's name and wrote dead. I wrote Tyrus and wrote alive. And that is, again, I did that to put the names of these people who are the macro aggressions, who have become who have become examples of the macro aggressions of these issues. And again, we want people to ask questions. We want people to have a conversation. We want people to have a dialogue about these things. We want people to not be able to escape these things, because I can't escape being black. Because somebody who is falsely, this is something that, whether people want to believe this or not or understand this or not, I'm experiencing it firsthand. It is people who are falsely arrested and convicted and are labeled felons, and they can't escape being a felon. It don't matter if it's Memorial Day, St. Patrick's Day, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. It don't matter. They still labeled a felon. They still will be legally discriminated against. And so we have to, the same rigor that is put into police terrorism, it's going to take that same rigor to destroy police terrorism. And the same goes for these other issues as well. And so I go down to the intersection there in the street. The traffic is stopped off in preparation of the parade. And I'm riding, I don't remember the specific thing I was riding at the moment. But a man from the side who I did not see this man. And so I do not know that this was a man who was not black. But gazing from the tone of his voice and the interaction we would go on to have, because I never looked at this man. I never gave no view to this man, to this individual. I will believe that it was a non-black man. But anyways, so I'm riding in the chalk, and he says, Leslie, this isn't about you. And I knew in that moment what he was trying to do was make me do something that would make me be making it about me. Which I don't know if that was if he was intellectually processing through that's what he was doing, or if that was something that he just was default doing on autopilot. But that is what he was doing. And I'm thankful that he presented that opportunity, not only for me, but also for the people who were there in this moment. Because if because this is this narrative that is going around that I'm trying to be famous or be a celebrity, or we're trying to be famous or we're trying to be celebrities, or we're trying to make all these things be about us. If I was looking in this day to have made it about me, the opportunity had been presented to me right there. I had the megaphone. I could have got into the megaphone, and he wouldn't have been able to talk over me. I could have had a conversation with him, and I'm sure based on the things that would follow up, that this man probably wouldn't have been as intellectually sound as he believed he was in the moment about some of these things. But today wasn't. But these things aren't about me. These things aren't about us individually as organizers or as activists or as demonstrators or as protesters. They are about the bigger issue. It is about the bigger picture. It is not called the Leslie Roth Alliance. I'm not writing Leslie over and over again on the sidewalk or on the street. And someone who is taking the time to actually acknowledge that these issues are real, to actually acknowledge that these things require some type of adjustment for us to live up to the ideals of what this country is supposed to be about. Someone who acknowledges that they realize that I'm not trying to make this about me, that this isn't about me. And so, and also they realize that it's not about them either, because in that moment he was also making this about him, because what I was doing, I did something that I have regularly done. We have regularly put chalk on the sidewalk. I've put sidewalk in the street. It's pictures and videos of me putting sidewalk chalk in the street. That is something I have done before. So even though people were now there and watching and witnessing and paying attention to it, that is no different. It still was not a different action than I am accustomed to doing. So I was not doing something to try. I was not writing in chalk for people to look at me and for people to pay attention to me. I was writing in chalk at 4 o'clock in the morning when nobody was there. I'm going to be writing in chalk a little bit later on this evening when ain't nobody here. So that was not something that was being done for me to be seen. However, what I was writing was for people to see. What was in that chalk was for people to see. And if I would have engaged in this argument with him right there, then what was written in that chalk would have became secondary or third or fourth or fifth on what was happening in the moment, what people were talking about, what people were paying attention to. So I ignored him. I continued to write in the chalk. He said it one more time, Leslie, this isn't about you. And I finished writing, come back, get some more chalk, some music playing, go back down, do some more writing, and he starts back up again. Leslie, this isn't about you. But it's a man it's a people sitting in front of me as I'm writing in the chalk, and a non-black man. Again, I don't want to trying to be careful with I believe to be a non-black man. And he says to me, keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I didn't have any. I wasn't going to talk back. I wasn't talk back. Excuse me. I wasn't going to say anything back to the man, to this heckler. Mainly because I was enjoying not saying nothing back to him, and I could tell that it was bothering him more that I wasn't saying anything back to him than anything that I could have said. There's nothing I could have said in that moment. I could have pulled out all the cuss words in the book. I could have pulled out stuff of just started guessing stuff about his personal life. Nothing was going to get underneath his skin like me not paying no attention to him. I didn't even look over at him, didn't even see him. And so, but I felt encouraged that it was somebody to vocally balance out what he was vocally doing. Because that, again, in that moment right there as he was doing this, nobody was saying nothing. If I would have said, I don't want to, okay, and I don't want to go into ifs and ands or anything like ifs or buts or nothing like that, because I purposely did not say anything back to him. So it's no point to go into a hypothetical conversation. And I don't think that I wasn't looking for none of the other non-black people to come and argue with the non-black man who was antagonizing me as I was riding in the chalk in the street during Memorial Day. That's not what I was looking for. But I do think that it is good that somebody did say something, because that's the place that we need to be getting to. Every Memorial Day, we're gonna do this. And so I think I thought that was a good sign. That was a good sign. And so I continued to ignore this man. I didn't say nothing to this man. Didn't even look at him. Didn't even see him. I couldn't even tell you what he looked like. That might not be the best thing. I might should at least seen what he looked like for later storylines. But I didn't even look. I didn't even look at the man. I'm not gonna lie. I felt very much this. This. Okay, I guess I'll make this little part about me. I did feel very much like it was like some type of sporting event, and it was like a heckler, and every time he was talking, I was just putting up more points, and he just was getting more and more mad. So whoever this guy is, I hope he come to the 4th of July parade too. I hope he need to start coming to more things. I hope he come to City Market. I like hearing him. But anyways. That stops. Eventually, the parade begins and starts to come to us. As it's a silent parade, it's a quiet parade. It was a silent parade. As they came to us, I went to where our music was playing at, and I pushed pause on the music, and I pulled up here, and I sat as the Memorial Day parade, made its way down the street. I personally didn't. Yeah. I just don't even worry about it. I didn't even see the comment, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna block him. He'll never use this page again. See, I block you right on the page. I don't care. Yeah. See, he just won't never use the page again. That don't bother me. And so. What's up with you, brother? Be safe out here, man. Appreciate you. It's too much. See, it's too much love out here for us to ever be bothered by hate. It's too much love. You see, it's too much love. It's too much love. How that one verse goes? The song's verse, he created a table for me amongst my enemies, my cup over, something like I'm butchering the verse, but you know what it is. You know what it is. We not gonna trip about that. But we gonna go back to talking about what happened today. The people that's here that want to be informed, that are not here because they want our ideology or our beliefs or our tactics to be their tactics or their ideology or their beliefs. The people who are here to listen and to not speak. We gonna continue to go on. So. The parade begins to come down. It's silent. We go and we push pause on the music and allow them to come down. When the police come, and again, we are silent for I'm silent. We are collectively silent as things are moving down and as people are moving down. A few things here or there, a few things in the megaphone here or there. Nothing disruptive. When the police come, however, the police department, which just for a reminder for people like Scott Garwick. even though he can't see this no more. This is Denzel Duvant's face. This was done by the Rockford Police Department. Because it's Memorial Day, don't mean that this all of a sudden didn't happen by that same police department. Do they let do they go to the jails on Veterans Day and let on Memorial Day they go to the jails and they let out all the veterans who got family members that done died in service? I don't know how many. This movie is a reenactment, but go watch the movie Detroit and see the treatment that was given to that, and that's a movie that's based on historical events. And look at the treatment that was given to that man who served his country. Okay, and so when the police department, which did this to Denzel Duvant, which has done this to countless Denzel Duvants over decades in this city, when they came down this way, we put the sirens on and we got on the megaphones. I should have had the music playing. When America go over to other countries, do they observe? Right? If you right now in a country that America has some type of imperialistic efforts in, do they stop those efforts on the holidays of those countries? Is the police department going to not over police black communities today, black and brown communities today? How many people know that today is the anniversary of the Tulsa race riot? Did the Tulsa race riot not happen today because it's also Memorial Day? Now, when the police came by, we spoke to the police who did this. Randy Burke, one of the police officers who was in this parade, came down here, and this is how you know, and this is how you know why hypocrisies must be highlighted. Randy Burke care about Memorial Day, right? Randy Burke, the police, we should respect this. We should not disrupt, because I want to say, we did not disrespect Memorial Day. If anything, we respected it more than anybody else that was there based on the actions that we took. Randy Burke, intern police chief, came down here at 4:00 in the morning one day, right after we had refreshed the memorials and did a spring refreshing and put new pictures up and flowers in the Easter baskets and things like that. And he tried to, him and his goon, his Ku Klux cop posse tried to steal the blankets and stuff like that. We said we was claiming it, we keeping it. And then Randy Burke said, all right, get the rest of this trash up. And then his police officers, his Ku Klux cops, proceeded to go get the candles at this man's memorial. That was the trash. The candles at his memorial. The same man that was walking in the Memorial Day parade. Scott Garwick, even though he can't see this. The same thing. Those Ku Klux cops then went and tore down Demetrius Bennett's memorial. He didn't say another word. He didn't have to say, go get the memorials. Go get Demetrius Bennett's memorials. Or go get Logan Bell's or Kerry Blake's memorials. Or go get the things on the light posts. He said, go get the rest of the trash. And then those Ku Klux cops went and tore down the memorials. And then those same cops, same police department, marched down this street for Memorial Day parade. And you think that the proper thing to do politically is to stay silent? Is to be quiet? You know how this country was got? You know how this land that you are on is got? You know how it's maintained? You know how this country's interests are maintained? Do you think that that's what America would do? Do you think that if an American infantry is somewhere, and we occupying this space. We occupying the space. We within our rights to occupy the space. So then an American infantry somewhere, a foreign invader come in, because that's what they are. When they coming in like that, 4 in the morning, trying to steal things, because they not coming in to try to keep us safe, to keep us protected. They coming in to invade, to pillage. They coming in at 4 in the morning to steal things, and then they destroyed the memorials of the people that we here for. Okay, so then it's the foreign army that came in. They done destroyed the American veterans memorials. They done destroyed the memorials that this American infantry got for the people that done been killed there. What you think they doing to that foreign army when they come back down that area again? When they come back down the spot that they occupying again? You think they just doing nothing? Nothing happens? So they supposed to play chess. We supposed to play checkers to appeal to your senses. So they march down. They march down the street. Police come. We got the sirens on. We on the megaphones. And then this is another very enlightening piece of thing that happened. As they moved down the street, it was a group right here in front of the old Chase Bank building. And again, this is, I believe, to be non-black group. And once the police come and we put the megaphones on and the sirens on for the police, they they ain't do that. A bunch of veterans, just a whole group of veterans just came down here. They ain't get none of that for them. I hope that all these police officers is veterans that they was doing that for. That'd be kind of disrespectful. I think that would be more disrespectful than what we did, Scott Garwick. So they we love you. We love you. I don't want to get too loud, mess up the decibel. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm just going back and forth. I'm like, go ahead, cheer for him. Cheer for him. 21st century lynchers. That's what they are. 21st century lynchers. This is an attempted lynching. People ask us all the time, is this man, is he dead? Somebody just asked me this morning, is he dead? This is who you are clapping for. This is what you're clapping for. This is not the first nor the last time that this has happened. And so, again, this is where we get to a place where, is it deliberate? Like, do you know? Because we got the picture here. The picture was out here. So you know that they doing this. You know what these names is down here for? So the police, as the police going down, this group keep on clapping. You know, we talking as they coming down. I hear some. Eventually, the police stop by. The police is gone. County sheriff come. This is something that came out. The county sheriffs. Now, the county sheriffs was in this parade too. The county sheriffs are the ones who murdered this man, Sergeant Joseph Brulard. Sheriff Caruana, who narrated the 21st century lynching of Faustin Guaitigo inside of his home. He was in this parade next to Dominic Barcelona, Winnebago County Sheriff Deputy. And a member of the organization was holding this poster, and they looked over at him while he was holding it, and they laughed. They laughed. And Scott Garwick has a problem with what we did. But he can't see this. And so that tells you what you need. That's why we here. That is why we here. That is why we are doing this, because the society that in which we live in, not only do these Gestapo police officers over police communities, low income communities, poor communities, and communities of color, not only do they pull people over for DWB, driving while black, driving while brown, not only do they murder people for being black and for being brown. And again, when I say murder them for being that color, what I am saying is that a week after Faustin Guaitigo was murdered inside of his home by the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies, they got somebody else out of a very similar situation with vastly different tactics. And so, yes, there are. This is another black person who they have gotten out of a situation with vastly different tactics than they use with Faustin Guaitigo. Nobody is claiming that that has not happened. Nobody is claiming that. But what we are claiming is that if this man was a different ethnicity, a different color, they would have used different tactics. And so that's what we mean when we say he was killed because he was black. The fact that he was black because of the melanin in his skin, that is the reason they chose the tactics that they chose. And they work within a system that tells them to choose those tactics. And that's what it means when people say ACAB, all cops are bastards. The system that people work within, the system that these entities exist within are built in racism. It's a reason that Memorial Day parade that came down here, they had a black man leading it at the front. And then all it was non-black people, back. Then you have a few sprinkled in, back, non-white, but non-black, a few sprinkled in, non-black, a few sprinkled in. Then the NAACP came up. Now let me tell you about something when the NAACP came up. Now I watched the non-black children, that the Girl Scouts that came. I watched the non-black. Majority non-black police and fire department that came. I watched the treatment that everybody got as they came down this area. Remember what I told you what they did when the police came down this area? That's what they did when the police came down this area. Remember that. Now when the NAACP with them little beautiful black babies came down this way, you know what they did? Just like that. Was it? Wasn't none of that. Wasn't none of this. Wasn't none of that. They on their phone. That's your city. That's your city. The people who did this, they got, we love you, They got that. Him though, his children, his babies, that's your city. I ain't got a lot to kick it. I stood in the street. I put my fist up to them beautiful black babies. I hope that left an impression on each one of them beautiful black babies. That is the world that is the world, the country, and the city that they have been born into, that they are walking in, that they are existing in. And if they let those because that's what those is these racist people, because these same racist people who went and did all of this, they'll be the ones to swear to you, oh my God, we seen what they did to George. We understand. We just don't. No, we don't understand. Just not today. Just not when our football games are on. Not when our basketball games are on. Not during City Market. Not during Food Truck Tuesdays. Not outside of City Hall. Not on Memorial Day. Not on 4th of July. Not on Thanksgiving. Not on Christmas. Not on Easter. Not if we lose money. Damn. What about George? What about George? George is all those days, all of those things. That none of those things change the fact George Floyd was murdered. None of those things change the fact that the same reasons George Floyd was murdered is the reasons Faustin Guaitigo was murdered. And so, black children pass by, put my fist up to them, show them black babies some love. They move on down. At the end, it's the last little row of cops that coming. Put the sirens back on. We back on the megaphones. I'm thinking to myself, like, what's the chance? I'm like, they ain't gonna do this again. After they just didn't do nothing for the black babies, they not gonna turn back up again for the cops. We love you. They right back at it. They ain't trying to hide it. But that's good. That is good. That is what is needed. Because the truth has to be brought to the light for us to the truth. See, the problem in Rockford was before George Floyd was murdered and was lynched in the streets. The white folks was running around here acting like Joe Fine Fresco didn't never get lynched in the streets. Acting like Lil Mikey Sago didn't get lynched in the streets. Acting like Kerry Blake wasn't lynched in his house. Acting like Logan Bell wasn't lynched in the streets. Mark Barmore wasn't lynched in the church. Coming to their city hall meetings, having, keeping all the things all over there, secluded, having their city market and, we black. We got some black people at City Market. Oh, my friend Jamal's my friend. Jermaine's my friend. You got your friends is black. Listen to Drake. They love Fred. Everybody got a Fred shirt. They all got some Fred shirts. And then in the last 12 months, not only the May 30th Alliance, but other activists, other organizations that showed you a lot of y'all white friends wearing them Fred shirts. A lot of y'all white friends wearing them Fred shirts would be the same ones throwing popcorn on Russell Westbrook. Be the same ones throwing water bottles at Kyrie Irving. Be the same ones spitting on Trae Young. Your mayor, who gave Fred the key to the city, he be one of the ones throwing a water bottle at Kyrie Irving. He be one of the ones spitting on Trae Young. He be one of the ones throwing popcorn at Russell Westbrook. Politically, that's where his ideology lines up at. Press conference for City Market, no press conference when Faustin. Well, we know that he not gonna say nothing about Faustin Guaitigo. He gonna leave that to Chiarelli, and Chiarelli ain't gonna say nothing about it because the microaggressions don't manifest themselves in the county as visibly as they do in the city. So we know he ain't gonna say nothing about it. So unfortunately, we in a situation where nobody will speak about Faustin Guaitigo. But he'll have a press conference. Tom have a press conference at City Market. Tom the second that the Raptors get win a championship, he'll put together something to get the key to the city to Fred, or whoever put it together, get the key to the city Fred. He make sure he down there for them news cameras and Smile get his key to the city to Fred, but he don't got nothing to say about this. No comment. No comment. Next question. Don't got nothing to say about this. No comment. Next question. Jose Gonzalez Jr. shot by the Rockford Police Department while running away April 11, 2021. Smile for that picture with Fred. Smile for that key with Fred. It's time to cut a ribbon. What about Jose Gonzalez Jr.? No comment. Racist. White supremacists. White nationalists. And so, the parade keep on. The parade come on down. The parade keeps coming on down, and we don't let they ride. We let them ride by. Let them ride. Oh, that's the back. They got got that back the blue flag on the hoodie. I know the vibes. Them blue line. See, they don't take no days off, but they want us to take a day off. So, anyways. The parade moves on down. The police come at the very end of it. We move down with the parade some more. Eventually, we double back. Everybody goes home. Everybody get home safely. Everybody get home peacefully. Everybody all right. Everybody got home okay. Nobody was hurt. But what did happen? Damn, loud ass motorcycles. But what did happen is that everybody who came out here had to be reminded about Jose Gonzalez Jr. Well, let's not say everybody, because let's say this too. See, I should never start eating these Twizzlers. That was a mistake. Trying to add theatrics, my fault. I shouldn't have started eating these. That's the last one I'm gonna eat. I'm sorry. Damn, I shouldn't have did that. Oh man, it's crazy. Okay, my fault. It's really throwing off the groove. I'm sorry. I also don't want to choke on this. Hold on. Okay, my fault. Anyways, parade moves on down. They finish. We here. I take a nap. Go to sleep. And so that wraps it up. So everything was fine. Didn't nobody kids get hurt. Nobody kids get abducted. Even if people disagree with what we was doing, disagree what was going on, there was the discomfort that people felt was something that they could survive. And this is what has been, and I point this out because that is all that has ever happened at City Market is discomfort. The police are being weaponized at City Market because white folks is uncomfortable. It's dusty. The wind blowing. The chalk. We rolling the chalk in the car on the street, and now the car driving up by the chalk, and then the chalk going up in the air, and now the wind blowing, so the wind blowing it back. You see? Collateral damage. I'm willing to deal with that for the message to get out there. See, this is hurting. The chalk hurt it. It hurt me more than it hurt y'all. Again, that's all that has ever happened at City Market is the uncomfortability that people have felt. Majority white people, people who normally don't have to deal with these things or are not subjected to these issues on a regular basis. And because 4 or 5 hours out of a Friday for 3-4 months of the year, they're being now forced and challenged to be subjected to these things. They have went to the extent of shutting down the entire East State Street in the downtown area. Basically, they have went to the lengths of having 30 plus police officers policing this area, wasting taxpayers' dollars there for no reason. Last week we had maybe 20 people here. They got 30 cops for 20 people. The same thing when we as we speak about these things, it's important to note that inside the City Market, the Metro enforcement agents have like 6, 7, 8. It's 8, 9, 10 metros in there. It's 40 armed white nationalists trying to police 20 people protesting, as they've already shut down a football field radius of the street of the area of downtown. And you think that they doing this because these issues are not real? You think that they doing this because these issues are not prevalent? No, it's the exact opposite. They're doing it because these things are very real, because these things are very prevalent, and they are in fear. It is fear that is driving them. If anybody may have not seen it, it's pictures of what they did to District 1, down there in District 1, put in snow fencing all around it, putting saran wrap around the District 1, having state police, county sheriff, deputies, Rockford Police Department office, probably 100 police officers probably stuffed inside of District 1. Hopefully they, but 100 police officers probably stuffed inside of District 1. All types of payroll and resources being completely wasted, completely thrown down the drain, and we got like 25 people at Haskell Park watching videos from May 30th. But they doing that because they understand that the reasons people went out on May 30th of last year are still real. Jose Gonzalez Jr. had not been shot last May 30th when people went out. Now, you asking me why people wasn't out there yesterday? I don't know. But I know that more people came out on May 30th than came out after he was shot. And so that means two things. It means that the city has the capacity to turn out and to show out. But it also means that we have to do the work of tapping into that empathy. Jose Gonzalez needs the same empathy that George Floyd had. And so We were under no false assumption as it was going to be a repeat of last May 30th. We only ordered 100 pieces of chicken. We ordered 100 pieces of chicken, and the city of Rockford ordered 100 police officers. And so that lets you know the type of city that we are in, the type of Gestapo state that we are in, is that these are the lengths that they are going to try to repress the voice of this movement in the very genesis stages of it, in the very beginning stages of it, which is something that we've always been 100% transparent about. We've never made it seem as if all of a sudden overnight we were going to fix all of these problems, we were going to fix all of these issues, we were going to change all of these things. We have been upfront from the very beginning that we are 100% dedicated to the process of changing these things, to the process of digging out these root issues. And in the process of doing that, that is a daily grind. That is an hourly grind. That is not something that you take time off in doing. That's why we've stayed out here. We're out here every day because of the fact that if we don't do nothing else, we force any at any given moment somebody to be driving down here, stopped at this red light, and to have to grapple with where they stand at on these issues when they look and they see that picture of Denzel right there at that intersection. When they look and they see the picture of Faustin down there at the intersection. When they walk down, say their name square and see these memorials. What is that? Damn, I can't remember what I titled this. I don't remember what I titled this. It don't matter. Memorial Day. Okay, City Market on Friday. The weather's supposed to be a lot nicer this Friday than it was last Friday. Again, personally, I'm okay with it. I wouldn't care if it snowstormed on Friday. I would love it. I love it. If it snowed 8 inches on Friday, I would love it. Again, we are in a place of and this is how politics works. This is how tactics works. This is how understanding works. It has been proven to us that the people who run City Market are white nationalists, white supremacists, and racist. And again, too often people think that a white nationalist, white supremacist, and racist, that those things have to manifest in somebody lynching a black person, or manifest in somebody calling a black person a nigger. They don't. And this is no offense to Denzel, but when Tom McNamara has a press conference for City Market and for the vendors at City Market, and to say that he has 60% minority and women vendors at City Market, but he won't have a press conference when his police officers does this, he's calling all of us niggers. All of us. And so, since we understand that the people who benefit and profit off of this gentrified farmers market are the type of people who engage in that type of ideology and that type of thinking and those type of actions, anything that makes it so that the image of city, because we're going to be present. So if it snows 6 inches, we'll be there in the 6 inches. So that way, however many people that wasn't gonna come because of the 6 inches of snow, they not gonna come, right? But now the other 10% that wasn't gonna come because they know we gonna be there protesting, they also not gonna come. And now these racist, bigoted, white nationalists, white supremacist people are sitting up in their houses and they thinking, oh, we losing all this money, it's all because of the protesters. Just like with the pandemic. It was a bunch of people that wouldn't come because of the pandemic, and then a small amount of people that wouldn't come because of the protests. Then they shut down the whole street once the pandemic is better. Blame it on the pandemic when really it's about the protests, because in their mind, the reason they lost all that money is because of the protests. And so it becomes important for us to understand that. And so what's bad for City Market is good for us. Period. And what's good for us is good for us. And what's good for City Market is good for us. What's bad for City Market is good for us. What's good for City Market is good for us. If a bunch of people come, just like a bunch of people came down here for Memorial Day. Yo. Yo. Chalk everywhere. Megaphone, sirens, music, speaker. And if don't nobody come, we set up a live. Sun coming out. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. What time is it? 6:01. Oh, man. Hey, somebody bumping Durkio. Chicago Jay-Z. So come out to City Market. On Friday, come out to City Market. Again, you don't have to be a demonstrator. You can come and bear witness. But please come out to City Market and bear witness to the demonstrations, bear witness to the protests. We're going to have the live run-in some capacity. We want to try to get people to come and speak about some of their experiences. Again, we're outside of City Hall 24/7 every day. We've been out here since October 3rd, 2020. We're going to remain out here. We're going to remain vigilant because this just happened April 11th. This just happened April 10th. This just happened January 5th. These things all happened this calendar year. So how could we go inside? We have been transparent about what it is that we are doing, how it is that we are doing it, why we are doing it. I believe that you can play the hand upside down. I heard somebody say that before. And I say that because all we had to do was just be here, and these things was going to happen. They going to keep doing these things because of the type of city that this is, because of the type of people that this city is ran by. And so for us, our job is just to stay here too. And we going to keep on we going to keep with the poster boards. Keep with them. We going to keep with the memorials on the light poles. We going to keep with doing the lives. We going to keep with being here when parades come by. We going to keep here with City Market. Going to be here for Stroll on State. Going to be here when Christmas come. You see, indefinite. That's what we mean when we say indefinite. Because what's going to happen is one of these days time to pay up. It's gonna be, and I don't mean time to pay up in no financial way, but one of these, all the receipts is gonna be piled up. It's gonna be, I don't know how many it's gonna be, which one it's gonna be, but eventually, Denzel Duvant will be George Floyd. Eventually, Jose Gonzalez Jr. will be George Floyd. Eventually, Faustin Guaitigo will be George Floyd. You see what I'm saying? Eventually, the next one will be the one. And we gonna be here when it happens. So that way it cannot be no false narratives. So that way this city can't act like it's been doing nothing to try to fix these problems. So that way this city can't try to put a super league or a super team, Justice League worth of black people up in front of the cameras. No more of that. That's done. We gonna stay and we gonna keep receipts. We gonna stay through the holidays. We gonna demonstrate through the holidays. We gonna demonstrate when businesses lose money, and we gonna demonstrate when businesses don't lose money. We gonna demonstrate when people come. We gonna demonstrate when people don't come. We are going to continue. As long as police terrorism, mass incarceration, racial injustice continues to pervade this city, continues to pervade this county, continues to pervade this state, we are going to continue to be vigilant and struggling against it. We're not trying to make friends. We're not trying to make people like us because the non-black antagonizer was correct. It is not about us. It's not about me. It's about the countless Faustin Guaitigos that has happened in this city. Right now, somebody is walking around and is going to be the next Faustin Guaitigo. It might be somebody watching this video. So, it is incumbent upon us to understand what the issues are that we are struggling against and to commit ourselves fully to that struggle. In whatever level we can commit ourselves. And so the level in which the May 30th Alliance is committing themselves fully is occupying City Hall. Is being present in City Market. Being present in Food Truck Tuesdays. Don't rain. Hopefully don't rain on Tuesday. Being present at the Memorial Day Parade. We'll be present at the 4th of July Parade. And again, I hope those young, beautiful black babies that had to walk down this street with these racist, non-black people. And I'm not saying everybody on the street was racist. But at least the ones that, the ones that was doing that, they need an intervention. The dude who was on the street who was, Leslie, this isn't about you. Leslie, who kept on trying to have some type of verbal altercation. He needed an evaluation. He needs a racist evaluation. Them black babies came down this street, and I hope that they remember this day. I seen as people was coming down the street, a lot of people was looking down at the things that was written down on the side on the street as they was marching. I hope that them black babies seen them messages, and I hope that their parents talked to them about it too, told them the truth, that in 10 years, if you was to get gunned down by those police who would definitely gun you down, them same police that's up at the further along in that parade will lynch each one of them black babies in 10 years. If we don't change the way that this society works, they'll do it and they'll say they just trying to get home. Somebody said to me, what if somebody is a police officers in a bad neighborhood and they're chasing somebody, and as they're chasing somebody, they see the person reach into their waistband, and it's a bad neighborhood and the person is a violent offender, and the cop just wants to make it home to their family. Wouldn't you shoot them? It's a loaded question, because what you've done is you've put this police officer in a situation where he's backed in the corner. But the inherent problem is that he ran into this corner. You see what I'm saying? He didn't see the man posing this question to me. It didn't never dawn on him, or he didn't really, I don't want to say it didn't never dawn on him, but he didn't really consider or think, well, why don't the police officer just not chase him? Why not just not chase him? It's plenty of money. If anybody wants to look into these things, they'll tell you what the budget is for police departments. Look into the budget of the police department, and you tell me that a kid from that's a violent offender, that the officer already knows who he is, who lives in a low-class community, that they can't be found. That it's not enough resources to find this person. That it's not enough resources to track this person down at a different time. There are enough resources to do it. See, but the problem is that the society okays somebody being brought in dead or alive. The society okays people being lynched in the streets. And then the society, after it okays it, it finds reasons to justify it. And we've gotten so deep into this cycle that people just before they even find out what the circumstances is, they justify it. People don't even want to know. Police killed him, or whatever he did was wrong. He got killed by the police. Whatever he did was wrong. Police beat him up. Oh, well, he shouldn't have ran. Think about this. You know how many people done ran? You know how many? Imagine this. The police coming after you for something you didn't do. And you don't want to go to jail for something you didn't do. They running at you. They accuse you of doing something you ain't do it. So they in the process of trying to arrest you for something that you didn't do. You don't want to be arrested. You didn't do what they trying to arrest you for. And so you run. Imagine how much institutionalization has to take place for us as a society to think the person that ran is the one that's doing something wrong, not the person who then shoots them. Which has happened. See, that's the other problem with this, is that people think that these are like arbitrary things. I'm in the process right now. I'm charged with multiple things that, based on what the charge is, not based on how people feel about what I did, based on what the charge is, I'm completely innocent. I was charged with a felony mob action for walking on a crosswalk. Now, what the society says is that if when this police officer comes to arrest me to charge me with felony mob action, which is wrong, the charge has been dropped now, that I should not run. I should allow myself to be arrested and go through and be imprisoned, falsely be imprisoned, with the understanding that even though I'm going to be falsely imprisoned and sit in jail, once I prove that, I have to go through some process to prove, because even though they say you're innocent until proven guilty, we know that if you were truly innocent until proven guilty, you would not be put into jail right after being accused of something. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Nothing happens to the police officer who falsely arrests me, falsely has me in prison, falsely charges me with something. No consequence for that. But me, understanding that I'm innocent of the charge, understanding there will be no consequence if I allow myself to be arrested, allow myself to be in prison. If I decide that I want to run because I want to preserve my freedom because it is trying to be unjustly taken from me, and then the police officer guns me down for running, the society says I'm in the wrong. And that is what we have to challenge. And that is why it does not matter. And I've said this multiple times. I'm trying to make sure I'm phrasing it in the right way. But we will be in a very bad place as a society if our technology is more advanced than our empathy. And right now, when you can watch multiple videos of Faustin Guaitico being murdered by the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies unnecessarily, and then you can see the comments, the sick, disgusting, racist comments, whether they be on YouTube, Facebook, or elsewhere, you understand that the technology is advanced further past our humanity. And so what does it matter if we can see the crime if our humanity is not at the capacity to hold people accountable for it? And that's why we can't take a day off, for the people who are wondering. Because we have gotten to a place where the technology that we live with in our society is more advanced than the humanity of the society. And they're working to get the technology further and further advanced every day. They're going to have robots out here killing black people. But that's a story for a different day. City Market on Friday. Food Truck Tuesdays. Again, please share this video, no matter whether you're watching it now and you shared it already before, share it again. No matter if you're watching it after it had already been posted, you're watching a week, a month, a year, share this video. We are now in the process of everything that we are recording live and doing live, streaming live on Facebook. We are getting it uploaded into YouTube on a 48-hour turnaround. So if you're not a Facebook person, you a YouTube person, subscribe to the May 30th Alliance page on YouTube. We're going to keep turning those videos around and putting them on YouTube. We want to put as much content out to communicating these issues as possible. We want to put as much content out trying to inform people about these issues as possible. Put as much content out trying to educate and engage with people about these issues as possible. We are going to continue to ask people to share all the links that we have, whether it be on Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media you frequent. Please share the things that are being posted there. We're trying to keep up with all of these things regularly. Again, we're trying to understand the technology is advanced further past the empathy, and so we're trying to use some of that technology to tap into that empathy. And so that is why we are trying to have a stronger presence on social media. Later on today, I will continue doing. Later on today, we will continue organizationally reading the book Why We Can't Wait by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I will be the one conducting the reading at the time, but again, as we go through these things, different people will conduct the readings. So that will happen later on. So anybody who has been keeping up with the Rockford readings of Why We Can't Wait by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we will return with that again a little bit later today. So if you want to, we have one up from yesterday and last night. If you want to go check that out, actually not last night, the day before, go check that out to catch up. Feel free. We're continuing to have the podcast. We have a podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Anchor. It's under May 30th Alliance. We're trying to get better with putting out episodes and series of that. So bear with us. We're going to get the groove of all of these things. I want to anybody we asking people to donate. Anybody that can donate, please donate to Cash App. $ May 30th Alliance. Venmo is at May 30th Alliance. PayPal is May 30th Alliance at protonmail.com. And so we want to thank everybody who came out over this weekend, whether it be to the memorial of Faustin that went up on Saturday, or whether it be on Sunday when people came out for May 30th, or whether it be the people who was some of the we had community members that came out today during Memorial Day. We want to thank everybody who did that. Again, I want to emphasize to people that if you say something nuts in these comments while I'm doing the live, I'm just gonna ban you, G. Maybe organization, we have a conversation and I have to unban you or something like that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the decision being reversed. But I'm just gonna let you know. If you say something nuts on this live, or if I see you doing something confrontational in the midst of the live, I'm gonna ban you. I gotta ban you. All right. I'm gonna end it. I gotta get something to drink, chill out. And I'm gonna end it like how we have. I'm gonna end it the same way I started it and like how we have before. We want to say justice for Faustin. Oh, my fault. Justice for Denzel Duvant. Justice for Jose. Justice for Tyrus. Justice for May 30th. Justice for the City Market 20. Justice for City Market 2020. Justice for Joseph McCormick. Justice for Lil Mike Sago. Justice for Mikey Guzman. Justice for Eddie Patterson. Justice for Shannon Graves. Justice for Logan Bell. Justice for Kerry Blake. Justice for Mark Barmore. Justice for Demetrius Bennett. Justice for Geno Washington. Justice for Jovan Fresco. Justice for Jasper Banks. Justice for Philip Johnson. Justice for Suzette Babler. We outside.